So I'm making a video about why it's important that teachers actually look at the whole student and not just judge by what they see or what they hear, and how it's important to dive into things. And one area we'll be talking heavily about is dyslexia. First of all, this is my son Teddy. Teddy, say hello.
Hello.
And at the beginning of the school year, he had some difficulties with his teacher. Teddy, would you tell him about the kind of pet you would like?
A dog or a cat, a kitty.
Okay. And what do you want for Christmas?
Let me think.
A little bit faster, please.
A brand new game.
A brand new game. And what game do you like to, what game system do you play on?
Nintendo Lite.
The Nintendo Lite. Okay. Teddy, can you count 1 to 20?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Okay, that's good. Teddy, what's 6 times 6?
Let me see. But it's 36.
36. Okay. Thank you, Teddy. You may go downstairs. Now,
Okay.
go downstairs, please. Reason why I talked to him first is I want to emphasize that so many times when teachers look at a student, if they hear a student or other things, they automatically start to make assumptions. And Teddy is right now 7 years old. He was skipped into grade 2, and he is currently doing grade 6 math and reading 4th and 5th grade books. But at the beginning of the year, he was placed in a 1st grade classroom, and the teacher was basically failing him because she didn't understand him and didn't make the effort to. Come here. This is my other son, Octavian, and one of the main things I wanted to speak to you guys about is how important it is to dive into data and look at students in a whole picture mindset. So this is Octavian, and Octavian has a learning disability called dyslexia. Now, dyslexia is not a bad thing. Unfortunately, many teachers actually don't really know a lot about it, and they don't often care to learn about it. So, Octavian, did you like grade 1?
Grade 1, what do you mean?
When you were in 1st grade, did you like it?
Don't know.
You don't know.
I think I forgot most of them.
Okay, what about grade 2?
Still.
Were you a good reader back then? Did your teachers make you feel smart?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Do you remember coming home crying and saying, "Daddy, why doesn't my brain work?"
Don't remember at all. I 100% don't remember at all.
Okay. Are you a good reader now?
Yes, we did read the diaries, which is at least maybe 5th grade levels and something like that. And I learned some algebra and Jumanji.
And how good is your math?
Extremely high. Very like the math.
Do you like to write?
No, I kind of quite awful at doing those.
One of the offshoots of dyslexia is called dysgraphia. Dysgraphia tends to be a handwriting disorder, which makes it difficult for students to write legibly. Did your teacher ever criticize you about the way you were writing in class?
Sometimes even in mathematium, remember mathematium? Long time ago, sometimes I write the numbers, which is probably correct, and then they see it and they think it wrong, but then I told them the answer what it was, and they know that was correct, but my handwriting, they do not know my handwriting.
So sometimes they couldn't understand your handwriting. And do you like copying work from the whiteboard?
copying words for the whiteboard?
Yeah, so if your teacher writes a whole bunch of things on the whiteboard, do you like to copy that down and write it down?
Not very.
Not really. Did your teacher ever get frustrated at you thinking that you're working too slowly?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, did your teacher ever think you were arguing with her?
I don't think so.
Okay. You may now go downstairs and join Teddy.
Yes. And my best one, the good things I'm super good at is math, reading. Why I'm very good at math? Because I learned algebra, do some 7th grade math.
But were you always
Now
good at
4th
math?
grade.
Were you always good at math?
No. Dad
Were,
told me
were you always good at reading?
no.
But now are you?
Yes, I'm very good now.
That's right. Okay, now go play with Teddy.
And my worst ones are writing or spelling.
Go
I
play,
don't even know how to spell because.
go play with Teddy. So, Octavian as a child has some learning difficulties, including dyslexia, dysgraphia, and he is also high-functioning autistic. His teacher on his report card wrote down that he was argumentative and didn't want to listen to her. And we have to remember that when we're dealing with students, we have to look at the whole picture. If they have an IEP, it's extremely important to read the complete IEP and try to understand how this child works, because every child is different. And yet, every child is capable of learning and exceeding far beyond their expectations. On the last NWEA MAP test, Octavian scored 75th percentile on reading for 4th grade level and 90th percentile for math. Teddy, who again at the beginning of 1st grade, his teacher wrote down that he knew less than 25 sight words, and yet in 1st grade, in kindergarten, he had already knew 150 by January, so I didn't understand what was going on. When I started making the connections and talking to the teacher and talking to the school, and said, how can this be? Look at these test results, look at this and this and this. It's imperative that the teachers do more of that work than the parents. Because when that child is in the classroom, they need to believe that they can learn. There are these mental barriers that these kids make all the time. And when a child thinks that they can't learn, they won't. When a child thinks that they can learn, they will more likely. Not every child's going to be a genius, and not every child is going to be gifted at math. But even if you are gifted at math, if you think you can't, you won't. So, again, this video is supposed to focus on looking at the whole child, realizing that there are learning difficulties like dyslexia, especially. Dyslexia targets approximately 1 every 5 students. So it's important that we look to see if they can't spell, maybe there's a reason why. Having a learning disability is not the end. It just means that we need to take different ways to get that final result. Hope you enjoy listening to this.